The Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development has issued a rabies alert to the local and people traveling to high-risk areas this festive season. Rabies is a viral infection that can spread to people and pets if they are bitten or scratched by a rabid animal. To tell us more about this via Zoom, we have Dr. Maja, who is a Director of Animal Health. Hi, Dr. Maja, and welcome to Pitso here on SABC Lehae. For those who do not understand what rabies is, can you please just explain in full what is rabies?
Good morning and good morning to the viewers. You actually explained it well in brief. It is a viral disease. It affects all mammals. The most culprits at the moment are our pets, cats and dogs. However, it is also found in wild mammals, mammal populations.
Dr. Maja, can you please just explain to us what are the symptoms in animals that have rabies and also in humans, and where can they go get helped?
I missed the first half of your question. Can you repeat it, please?
I was asking what are the symptoms in pets, what are the rabies symptoms in pets and also in humans, and where can they get help?
The symptoms of rabies in pets, in animals, is that they change behavior. Your tame, domesticated animals become wild. Your dogs, for example, will chase inanimate objects, would bark, would howl. They cannot swallow, so they drool. They also can't drink water. But some animals become very tame, depressed, paralyzed. So it's a spectrum of, or the two extremes of behaviors. While on the other hand, your wild animals that are supposed to be wild, they become tame, they approach people. Instead of them running away like mongoose, they would come and expect you to pet them. So those are the signs. And unfortunately, once animals demonstrate or show signs, the disease is not treatable. However, we can prevent it in our pets, in our domesticated animals, by vaccinating them on an annual basis, or at the very least every 3 years.
Those people that have pets who have rabies, how can they control it at home?
Unfortunately, you can't control rabies other than preventing it. So the best prevention is to get your animals vaccinated and also to restrain them. Make sure that your dogs don't leave the home premises and interact with stray animals that may not have been vaccinated, that may be having rabies. But once it shows signs, there is no treatment. The animals would have to be put down or it would die on its own.
We heard that most common places where rabies is found is in the KwaZulu-Natal province, the Eastern Cape, Limpopo and Mpumalanga, as well as the border between the Free State province and Lesotho. Why is that so?
It's historically been reported in KZN. For some weird reason. But the eastern parts of Limpopo and Mpumalanga is the escape of rabies from the Kruger National Park. Our wild animals do have, and they do carry rabies. So there is, at any given time, rabies present in the park. So every now and then you find a spillover. The situation in the Eastern Cape was under control until about 2-3 years ago. And because of the COVID restrictions, we couldn't go out as vigorous as we used to vaccinate pets in those areas. So that is why you find the most cases now being reported in KZN and in the Eastern Cape. Also Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and the eastern parts of the Free State.
Dr. Maja, how often do pets need to get vaccinated in order to prevent them from getting rabies?
We recommend annually. So if you have pets, we recommend that you please vaccinate them every year. We do have campaigns as government every September. It's the International Rabies Month, Awareness Month. So we vaccinate routinely in September. But you can approach any welfare organization, any government clinic. You can even go to the private veterinarian for your vaccinations. But the manufacturer recommends that the vaccine be given every 3 years. That's why we are saying if you cannot afford to vaccinate every year, the very least you can do is to vaccinate at least every 3 years.
And what are the signs or symptoms that are commonly seen to a person who has rabies?
Once the person gets infected, again, there is no cure. But the person changes behavior. They cannot swallow, so they also drool. They cannot swallow water. They actually have what we call hydrophobia, so they are scared of water. They are also scared of air. So if you blow air to their face, you will see that they get really terrified. They have this wild stare in their eye as if they are looking at something that nobody else can see. They are aggressive. They are agitated. So you will notice that there is something not right with the person.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maja, for your time here on Pitso. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much.
That was Dr. Maja from the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. Following traditional customs and beliefs has unfortunately been a life-threatening journey for some boys who want to be stepping into a new phase of manhood. Initiation schools are vastly popular in the Eastern Cape as the province registers about 70,000 initiates per summer season to undergo this traditional custom of circumcision. 28 initiates have thus far been reported to have lost their lives after undergoing this traditional initiation. Now joining us via Zoom, we have Mr. Kwadiso, who is the chairperson of the Eastern Cape Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, to enlighten us on this said discussion. Hi, Mr. Kwadiso, and welcome to Pitso. A lot of deaths continue to be recorded in the Eastern Cape, more than any other province. Can you briefly tell us what might be the major contributing factors to that?
My greetings to you and to everybody at the studio, and greetings to the Eastern Cape community and South Africa at large. I am Inkosi Mpumalanga Gwadiso, a chairperson of the Provincial House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders in the Eastern Cape. Thanks for this interview and the time afforded to us. We are having this situation of the death of the initiates at this time, after having done all the preparations that we thought would be necessary to do at that time. But this still continues to confront us. And I think the families themselves, they need to really assist the situation and take control. What appears now, we are still in the investigation stage as to what is it exactly that is causing these deaths, besides those the shootings that have happened in Ngamakwe and Gqeberha. But generally, we are still shocked as to what is it exactly that is causing the deaths. So investigations are still underway. We haven't had any confirmation that this is the actual reason.
Mr. Kwadiso, as the House of Traditional Leaders, what's your role to ensure that we don't talk about this every year?
No, the role that is there, because traditional leadership is the custodian of this culture and practice. That is why you see traditional leaders are up and about trying to assist families and assist the country itself, because at the end of the day, traditional leaders are heads of communities. And therefore, this situation is affecting communities. And therefore, also, is that in any community, we know that this culture is helping in terms of molding and also making the initiates to graduate into manhood, where you have expectations for everyone who is said is a man in a community, because you can't have a country without men. And therefore, this is why also the traditional leaders are up and about trying to stop the situation wherever possible.
So now, with the number of deaths that are seasonally being reported, particularly in the Eastern Cape, do you think initiation schools should still be permitted to operate?
First of all, let me correct the myth that says this is happening in the Eastern Cape now. In the Northern Cape, there are so many, I think about so many that have died in all the provinces. Death is in all provinces, not only in the Eastern Cape. There is no way that one would think of saying, no, the traditional circumcision practice should be stopped. You'll be just wasting your time, because this is a culture of a society. You can't say you are just stopping it. And this has been tested basically also during the COVID time. There was a stop for everything during COVID time. But I tell you, initiation took place still.
And how would you advise one to identify a safe and legal initiation school?
The advice is that, because we understand that children of today, they are confronted with all sorts of challenges in terms of their health. Therefore, before anyone goes to the initiation, we emphasize and urge that they must go for medical checkup, so that they are seen whether they are fit for the process at that particular time. And also, when they are there, we are urging that those who are in their treatment, they must continue having their treatment even though they are at the initiation school. Remember that initiation school is these human beings that are there. We are interested in the health and healthy conditions also in the initiation school. So therefore, when you are there, you continue being a human being at the same time. Hence, you have to continue with your treatment and all that you have that is looking after your body. Hence, we also urge that drinking of water is paramount for the healing of the body. There is no way that you say you abstain drinking water. So we urge the would-be initiates that they must stop this thing. They must stop this myth of, and also this practice that before they go for the initiation, they start stopping drinking water 2 weeks or 3 weeks before they go in there. That is why you find them also, they die within 3 days or 4 days, 5 days after they have done, they've gone through the process. So those are the safe ways that we say people should maintain.
Mr. Kwatiso, do you perhaps know what initiative the government takes in these deaths that happen in the initiation schools?
No, the government, we are working together. We have different partners that we are together with. SAPS is part, Department of Health is part, Social Development is part, and NPA is part. So government is fully involved, is working with traditional leaders, because also in the teams that are up and about and all over the country, we make it a point that in each and every team, there is a DMO, that is the people that have got medical eye in every situation that is there, so that if we see a problem, it is dealt with there and then. So government is fully involved in terms of assisting traditional leadership.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kwadiso, for your time here on Pitso. Unfortunately, Mhlekazi, that was all the time that we had for this discussion.
Thank you very much.
That was Inkosi Mpumalanga Kwadiso, the chairperson of the Eastern Cape Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, talking to us about finding safe and legal traditional initiation schools, as 20 initiates have been reported to have lost their lives in the Eastern Cape.